Thank you. Hi, I am thrilled to be here on day two. I mean, I feel like I have just learned so much big takeaways that really relate to what I'm talking about focusing and just really going in the right place for your brand. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is shifting brand perception through Instagram. So, kind of just to keep me focused and just something to have just kind of baking in your mind as I'm talking. So, I want you to be thinking about how to play to win on the social platform that best reinforces your brand positioning. So, I'm going to talk you through the Lilly brand positioning, teach you a little bit about the brand, and then show you how we've brought that live using Instagram first, really, as our strategy. And then just kind of top tips that also as content marketers and social media marketers that we can be thinking about that I think are really interesting and that everybody in this room could really put into effect is that it's about playing nice. It's about finding the right friends to also help you spread the message. And that can be other brands friends that we're making here, cocktail hours coming up soon. And that also, I believe that content swapping is queen. That it's one of the things we can do when we're playing nice together, create really fantastic things, and bring together a grassroots campaign to make something big happen. And I'm going to illustrate that through my talk. So just to give you a little bit of a backstory about what I'm talking about when I talk about Lilly Pulitzer. Lilly Pulitzer herself was a woman, and we come from a brand with a really rich heritage that I'm so proud to represent. So to give you the backstory, so we always say it all started with a juice stand. And what that means is Lilly Pulitzer was born into an affluent family in New York and quickly kind of shed off that life of stuffy, uptight, socialite, debutante things that could have been her prescribed path. Instead, wild thing that she was, she eloped to Palm Beach when she was 21 years old with the really handsome Peter Pulitzer of the Pulitzer Prize, also happened to own pretty much all of the citrus groves in Florida. So you can see how this is starting to come together. They were living a life of the rich and famous in Palm Beach where nobody really lived yet year-round. It was kind of unheard of. And so they set down their roots, started raising children. Lilly needed a hobby. She needed something to do. So the aha moment was, oh, we've got these citrus groves. I can start a juice stand. And the perfect location for it is right off of Worth Ave in Palm Beach. Worth Ave is pretty much the Rodeo Drive of Palm Beach. It's where her friends spend a lot of their time. So they'll come, they'll hang out at the shop. We're going to have some juice, have a great time. Very quickly, though, the juice is flying everywhere. They're having a blast. It's almost night. It's about 1959-ish. And she goes to her dressmaker and says, well, wearing an apron wasn't really Lilly's thing. And there's these splatters everywhere. Can you design me a dress that's going to hide the stains? Very quickly, her and her dressmaker came up with these beautiful shift dresses, wild prints, colorful things that just would hide those stains. And there, the shift dress was born. So flashing forward to the brand today, clearly we have a heritage that I love and I'm so proud to represent as a social marketer. And it all for us relates back to a strong brand positioning of Lilly's Resort Chic, meaning that it's the Lilly Pulitzer world of warm weather, of travel, of print, of the magical nights that can happen in Palm Beach that really can't happen anywhere else. And the ways that we reinforce that are through our three key competitive advantages of print, authentic resort, and our emotional connection. One of the little known facts about the brand that I was even surprised when I started working there is that everything begins with print first. So the print that's on my dress began in our design studio. We have 12 talented artists who are painting and sketching and doing creative things all day long to come up with these colorful prints that kind of hide animals and stories and always the word Lilly throughout them and really tell a Palm Beach story. That's where all of our fashion design begins, and then the shape of the dress comes next because we're print-led first. So that for us is one of the ways that we stand out kind of in that sea of fashion. The other is that we're truly an authentic resort brand. When you're thinking about, I'm packing my suitcase, I'm going somewhere warm, really the right decision is Lilly Pulitzer in your suitcase. I'm not biased, it's the truth. And it is also about the emotional connection. Lilly herself was a magnet. People wanted to be around her. And there's this rich story. So there's this whole world of Lilly girls that all kind of laugh at the same jokes, aren't afraid to break the rules. Wearing white pants after Labor Day isn't even an option. Of course you do that. And that's just sort of the Lilly girl mindset. And so those are the three competitive advantages that I use to the fullest when we're talking about what we're doing on social media. So for us, okay, great. So when you're marketing for a brand, we all know all you do is just create the brand positioning, and then it just kind of takes care of itself, right? No. So for us, we have this brand positioning. We're going to go out and we're going to defend it, and we're going to showcase what we mean by Lilly's Resort Chic, because it might have been misinterpreted over the years. So here's our challenge on social media. We're up against a challenge of what we stand for versus how we're perceived. So you can see here the challenges are resort chic, and then sometimes skewing a little bit preppy, which is fine if that's your thing, but that's just not what we want to define ourselves as a brand, to stand out against a sea of in the fashion world. So for us, being, as I've kind of described, such a visually, and I'm sure you're a little overwhelmed by all the color that's going on in the PowerPoint as well, we're a visual first brand. So for us, when we're thinking about social media, we're on all of the platforms, of course. But when you only have so much time in your day, and really a key theme here has been to focus, if there was one place we were going to focus, reinforce the brand daily, and build the right audience and engage the crap out of them, it's going to be happening on Instagram. So it's kind of, we built up the content in 3 different channels and how we thought about it. So the first one is through what we call the Lilly 5x5. And these are every day, about 5 o'clock-ish, because nothing really has to be precise if you're on vacation time. These are daily paintings that come right from our print designers that are musings about what's happening in the world. The Statue of Liberty had her birthday this week, and we did a really loving tribute to her. Or just kind of the whimsy and what's inspiring us, and what are we seeing, and what do the print designers need to get out? What do they want to show? And our audience just latches onto it. You really see them immediately screenshot it, tweet that they've made it their wallpaper, lose their mind when you favorite their tweet, and it starts all over the next day. So we're building it there, and so the engagement was coming there. And then the next avenue is something that we refer to as our visual communication platform of life in print. So it's translating the strong world that we have of print into our catalog and all of our in our visual imagery. So we have Irina, who's one of the hottest models around, in a gorgeous Lilly maxi dress. And then our team takes really great painted layers, puts that on top, and starts to create this world of a little bit of fantasy, a little trippy, and that's what we call life in print. So by doing that on Instagram, it's one of those things as you're scrolling through, we like to call it a thumb stopper. It doesn't look like anybody else, and it's one of those things as a brand that we can defend. And then the last one, and it took a little while to get there because it's a little bit of a challenge, I'm sure anybody can kind of agree with this, to find on-brand user-generated content. So you kind of teach them, lead by example. These are the kind of images that we're sort of highlighting. And then you start to get really great content coming in. And so when we see that, really exemplifying Lilly's Resort Chic, we raise that up and really start to see quality content coming through, and then integrated through now our whole website. And good thing, the numbers back it up. It's not just like, I kind of want to spend time here because Instagram is so cool. No, this is where they're engaged. So looking at year-over-year growth from this past September to the one before, our Instagram audience, which is solely organic growth, Instagram won't return my phone calls, is 150% that our audience has grown since last year. Facebook, even with ad spend, and then Twitter and Pinterest are all kind of growing at their own rates. But if you only have so many hours in your day, and for us, it can be really, it's just about defending the brand and highlighting that positioning, we should double down on Instagram and spend our time there. It only makes sense to have an Instagram-first strategy. Okay, so that's all well and good. We've built these kind of areas of content, engagement, good things are happening, my boss is happy, we're all feeling good. But how do we, now that we've created this base of Lilly girls, and it is, they're strongly engaged, but how do we get everybody else's attention? There's a bigger story to tell. So what we did, we made our own national holiday. And this is National Wear Your Lilly Day, which is also the first day of summer. So June 21st, every year, this year is Father's Day, we'll figure that out, but little challenge. And it's just a time, it's the right day for us to celebrate our brand. In the summer, everybody, you're already in a more optimistic, happy, outdoors, party-friendly mood. You're probably traveling, planning your next vacation, wherever that might be. And Lilly is really top of mind. So using Instagram first, we decided to fuel that high and create National Wear Your Lilly Day. So it's been around for a couple of years, but it was really kind of in that incubation stage where we were having promotions in our stores, celebrating online, but the social piece was missing. This was a real opportunity for a grassroots campaign. So there was one day where with the team, we're sitting, we're brainstorming, and we just started making a list. If we could think of other friends that would celebrate this holiday with us, who in a very Lilly-like way, who would we invite to this party? So we started dreaming, we started writing, and we were kind of like, well, this is a pretty good list. If we could get all of these people to post about us on National Way or Lilly Day, we can take over Instagram, and that would be really powerful. So what we did was content swapping. Took that list, divided and conquered, and just reached out to them and said, with the help of one of our print designers, if we created a custom Lilly 5x5 for your brand, or if you're a blogger or if you're a celebrity, and if we gifted you clothing as well, would you wear it? Would you post it? Would you use this hashtag? Would you do it on this day? And as we all know, I had said I wouldn't mention cats, but it was like herding cats. But it was fantastic. So what happened was we reached out with these on-brand contents, inviting what we were calling like our brand BFFs, big and small, to join this party. So what happened was you have perfect matchups of brand relationships, like Barbie, who was just kicking off the year of the entrepreneur for Barbie. Pretty good day when Barbie returns your phone call. That was a fun one. And so it was a perfect matchup when you talk about it all started with the juice stand. Lilly was an entrepreneur. This is what Barbie's celebrating. Here's your custom piece of art. Go on and post. And then also, how do we continue to attack that list? Also through professional stalking. We have wholesale accounts that have relationships with brands that we adore, like Nordstrom. LinkedIn, this is the best way to track down people. Caroline on my team is like a LinkedIn superstar and can find anyone, any of you, if we need to talk. And then, we always ask this, so what's in it for us? What was in it for them? It was a really cool opportunity for brands, especially cult favorites that we loved and know are kind of all founded with that same sort of Lilly spirit. They were Lilly girls. We felt connected to them. They were a chance to be something that was kind of on a national stage. So cult favorite brands like Tarte Cosmetics, Dry Bar is really in certain locations, isn't totally across the country yet, but they were someone that we loved, and we were able to lift them up with this illustration, and they got to join the bigger party. So the day was a huge success. Over 50 plus brands, bloggers, influencers, and celebrities contributed to National Wear Your Lilly Day. On Instagram solely, we had 15 million impressions through the day, and the brand effect and lift was really, I can't even quantify how important it was for us. But what I will do is share with you some of the takeaways that we learned from that day that I just feel I always need to keep top of mind, and I hope they help you too. So for us, it's Instagram first. Visually reinforcing our brand is just the right thing to do. In social media, it's really hard, and I've been in this conversation. I feel like I cycle through it every 3 months. Am I measuring the right things? Like, is there a metric that I'm missing that is way more important and could tell a better story? For us, if we're going to be defending our brand positioning, and I want our Instagram, if someone kind of says, what is Lilly's Resort Chic? Go to instagram.com/LillyPulitzer. It's clear. And that was the right thing to do, and to set it up and give us that freedom to highlight our stores and just kind of show print and just get a little more creative. And then it also gave us a new approach for our digital PR placements, thinking about stories that we have that are going on in the world that are going to be placed into the feed. So coming up on colorful Black Friday, we have a collaboration with Hanky Panky. So it was a great way, it had been announced in the spring, to reinforce this is happening, these two brands are collaborating on National Wear Your Lilly Day, kind of putting that message out again. And also gives you really great content to spice up a press release. When an editor gets this in their inbox, this is far more fun to play with rather than just kind of the standard words. And then another thing that we learned, that was my robot. Then there's another thing that we learned. This helped us completely overhaul our social media metrics. Like I said, I felt like I was always kind of kicking around, what do we measure? And we were measuring traffic, sales, and conversion across all of social. And there were some times where that felt like it was totally the right thing to do. And ironically, my boss, I'm not just saying this because she's on the webcast, hi Janie, she was like, is sales, is that the right thing to measure? do you feel that's effective? And I kind of fought it for a little bit because I feel like in social, if you've been in it for a while, you've gone through the cycle where it was about engagement, and then I'm going to prove how we can make some money. And social ROI is so important. But just when it came to putting Instagram first, that wasn't the place to go. So I stopped fighting it and completely embracing this. And by reinforcing our brand, we're focusing on what our audience looks like, if they're engaged, and then the impressions that are coming from that. Because if they're sharing and they're helping us tell that story, we're doing it right. And then there's a really great long tail effect from this. I feel like we've talked about Southwest a lot the past 2 days, and I'll keep talking about them. Working with those 50-plus brands, bloggers, influencers has really led to great continued conversations with brands that we admire and that are just great kind of friends of Lilly, like BaubleBar. We continued the content swapping by doing a blogging partnership, sharing what employees at BaubleBar were wearing of Lilly, how we were accessorizing with BaubleBar, and just kept talking back and forth. So it didn't just groundswell, June 21st, June 22nd, nobody's talking and it's all over. It kept going. And we've had great continued conversations with Nordstrom and thinking about ways that we can collaborate together. And, also talking to Southwest. What was really an interesting learning for them is that we created this 5x5 for them. And then the head of marketing for Lilly wrote a really great top 10 reasons why Lilly loves Southwest. And it was a very genuine top 10 list. I encourage you to read it. It'll kind of make you laugh, smile, maybe a little bit of a tear, but then smile at the end. And it became the most popular internal blog on Southwest's website. So for us, it was kind of an indication when their employees at Southwest are coming to them and saying, what are we doing next with Lilly? What's going on? Give me the scoop. We should be talking together. And then just for brand impact, we have an Instagram account that 100% is on brand and defends our positioning every single day. And then also gives us a little bit of freedom now to get a little more wild. So when we decided to get a drone and fly it in the sky last week and take pictures of Palm Beach, I could justify that because that is our brand. It is a perspective of Palm Beach, and it was the right thing to do. So wrapping this up, some of the key points that I'd love for you to take away and kind of hear your thoughts on it too, is that I think it's all about focusing on your strengths. Instagram first is right for Lilly, but it might not be for everyone. It probably isn't, but what is your thing? If you doubled down and spent twice the time doing something else and let kind of some of that periphery stuff float away, what could you make happen? And then play to win on the social platform that best reinforces your brand positioning. It's really about being authentic and being in the right place. And play nice. This is our kindergarten rule that has not gone away. Find the right friends to help you spread the message. It'll just seem, if it's natural, if they would have been kind of if you're brands and you were real people, would they be in your friend circle or they're in your network? That's how you can do something pretty cool and have an impact, because it really is genuine. Like when you're going through that feed on June 21st, chances are there was a lot of overlap in followers between these brands, or they were discovering some things themselves too. But going through that feed and seeing, oh, Jonathan Adler, Mrs. Lillian, Barbie, Nordstrom, Saks, I would follow all, that's kind of a like-minded customer there. And so when it comes down to it, I really think it's not an everyday strategy, but it's kind of for those special moments when you want to make something happen. Content swapping really can be the queen. Thanks.